So my good friend Howard, it's so good to see you today. How are you?
I'm doing just fine, Dave. It is good to see you too, even though we're on a video screen instead of face-to-face at a conference somewhere. It's a little early too, isn't it, Dave? I mean, we just kind of got started, but I think we are seeing some progress happening just in a very short period of time. So that's exciting, that's for sure.
Well, yeah. Well, congratulations. I'm glad to see that. So let's jump into this. Me asking you questions, you giving me answers. Yeah, that kind of stuff. So. Talk to me about what led you to this current position in your journey. I mean, you've been on a fabulous journey since I've known you. So,
wow. So this is one of those kind of things that I don't know that I was ever seeking this. It's just kind of like this current position kind of found me. It met me along my path. So I was back at the Scrum Alliance. I was there, I think back in 2007, 8 or 9, somewhere in that window of time, and then stepped out to help build consultancies. I took 3 months off in Eastern Europe, then helped Level Solutions out of Boston, helping to grow their coaching program and running their training program. And then we sold, Big Visible was sold to Solutions IQ, so I joined leadership team there and kind of played the same role there and helped work on our internal all of our internal growth there and stuff. So then this opportunity came along after the Accenture acquisition. And Accenture was a great company, but with 500,000 people, even with really great ideas, it's hard to get much traction on them. So this opportunity kind of met me along my journey. And I had enough people in the community that were asking me to please apply. And so I finally did. So here I am.
We're glad. We're glad. We're glad that you're there. That's for sure in that position. So at least you get us, right?
I do realize how weird and strange you are, and I'm okay with that actually. So I think that's the difference. Is I'm not shocked by it. I actually expect it,
which is wonderful. So talk to me. You're like the chief product owner of the Scrum Alliance, right?
Yep.
How would you describe value and give me some feedback that you've received from members of the Scrum Alliance.
On how we describe value?
Yeah, how would you describe value? And then give me some examples of people said, oh God, we're getting such great value from the Scrum Alliance now that you are the chief product owner.
Okay, so value and business value is that hotly debated term around the industry and how you measure it and how you calculate it. And I've never claimed to be a professional in this space and know all the answers for sure. But the way I kind of look at value is it's what monetary or other qualities that a consumer puts on something based on either the price that they pay or the effort that they put out to receive those things, right? And something of great value is something that when the value is more than what that they put into it, right? So for us in this organization, it's been really a shift for us to help us recenter on the fact that we are a trade organization of people. So we've been radically focusing on the needs of our customers or our members of our organization, if you will. So there's been some small things that we've done fairly recently that have really were low effort for us in a way, but produced a lot of value. What I feel is a lot of value are the our consumers or our members of our organization have perceived a tremendous amount of value, like negotiating a package deal with companies like Eventbrite for them so that as they're posting courses and taking registrations, the fees that they're paying are far less than they would have paid just when they're trying to negotiate for their one company, because we can negotiate for, literally hundreds and hundreds of companies around the globe on their behalf. And so we've gotten a lot of that kind of feedback over small things that we've tried to do for different people to help our users know that we care about them and that we want them to value that relationship with us.
Yeah, no, it's great. I even saw that with the meetup group, getting that value, for some of the initiatives that I'm working on. And I said, wow, that was great. Makes life to deal with.
Yeah, we covered those costs. Tools like comparative agility, to where we provide that for our members on our database, to where they can actually look at how their agile teams are stacking up against other agile teams, to where they can kind of learn and grow. And there's actually a new version of that coming out pretty quickly. That's more of a Scrum Master specific, kind of like a personal improvement kind of a plan, to where as a Scrum Master on a team, you can enter in things that you're self-aware of and how things are going, and then it actually gives you some actionable steps to help you get better, and can help map you with a mentor that can mentor you in those particular skill sets that you self-identify as being weak in, if you want. So that will be coming out probably in the next few months.
Yeah, I can see how that could be really valuable to lots of Scrum Masters. And I think you have just a little bit of Scrum Masters, right?
Yeah, we've got a little over 1.1 million certifications that we've issued, but we're right at the cusp of 1 million actual users in the system, actually certificates. Nice. And we're in that 995,000 or so, but we'll hit 1 million probably this month or so.
Yeah.
Of real humans. So it is pretty exciting.
Yeah, I think so. So here's my belief. I believe that companies need happy contributing people, and to satisfy their customers, and to allow a company to grow to achieve the sustainable existence. Share your experience that enabled a culture to create an environment for happy contributing people. There's nothing like them, right?
It's huge. We just had Daniel Pink at the Scrum Gathering in Austin, and his work on his book Drive, and helping people have autonomy and mastery and purpose in their work is huge. From past companies that I've come from, where you set unlimited vacation for people, you let your expense policy says we trust you.
Yeah.
When you set up a pretty healthy professional development plan, and that the only approvals really is for them to go to their team and say, look, I would like to go to Australia and take underwater basket weaving, and it's going to cost $10,000. And the team says, I don't think that's a good use of company money.
Right.
Then it's not approved, but there is no managerial approval in it. So we've had some real success at trying to help provide that kind of a culture. And it's really important for me that employees or team members have a voice in the things that affect their daily life. The vacation policies or expense policies or travel policies and all these kind of things that typically are written in a vacuum by some management or some department somewhere. We've always had an open book on those things, and let the staff or let the team members actually help contribute to what they feel like is a fair way to view those kinds of things. And I think that way there's no way for them to feel like it's a capricious way to do it, or it's something that doesn't benefit them in a certain way. And it's amazing when you actually allow people to help set those bars themselves over what those guidelines should be or what those guardrails should be. They're amazingly brilliant at setting things, sometimes even more conservative than you as a business owner or somebody running a business may think about. They rarely will get together and say, we all need triple the pay and we're not going to ever come to work and all these things. Because honestly, the employees in a company, if they're not passionate about the vision of the company, if they're not passionate about helping the company be successful, you're going to lose anyway. So if you hire the right people and point them in the right direction over a mission that's passionate for them, they want the company to be successful.
Well, yeah, and it's beneficial to them as well, right? If
absolutely.
The company is doing really great, So talk to me about who influenced your philosophy in life and business.
It's a cop-out to say everyone. I tend to be a collector, as you know, a collector of relationships. So every single human that I meet, I learn something from. A few of them I've learned what not to do, but I still learn something. Probably on on a very, very personal level, it was my father that was very specific over the fact that no matter what I do in life, I must always be a man of integrity and a man of honor in whatever I decided to do. And those have been kind of, foundational for me for any quest.
Yeah.
But every role that I've taken on in my life are typically roles that I've never done before or things that I think might be a challenge, but they've always been something I felt like that there was a higher purpose to be there. There was some calling. It was some mission for me to be there. But in this agile journey, if you will, my first Scrum class that I went to was Mike Vizdos. And so he was, I think we all remember the kind of the first training that we ever go to that just kind of shakes our head. So his probably was the first, but his wasn't the last, because I've probably been to 40 or 50 different CSM or CSPO classes over the years. But more than that, just the passion of the people in the industry, watching people present at conferences that you can tell that they're not there selling anything.
Yeah.
They're actually basically screaming from their heart about what that they think is wrong with the world and how that they would like to help solve it. And it's infectious, Dave. It's just infectious to watch how people are, like somebody like I've told her this personally. So somebody like Esther Derby is one of those people that if you're listening to this and you go to any conferences and Esther is a sponsor of it, you'll notice that every insert in the bag that she will provide as a sponsor is only useful content. She will pay her money to be a sponsor to ensure that she can help give some gift to everybody. It won't be a squeezy ball or a spinner or any of that kind of crap. It will be practical skills that you can use in your daily life to make your life better. I mean, and it's just like what a high road for somebody to take, but that's how she invests her money when she sponsors, because she feels like that's a better way for her to get really great tactile learning about tips for retrospectives or whatever it is that she's on a theme for that particular year. But people like that have always just inspired me.
Yeah. What a great inspiration. She really is.
Yep.
Yeah. So for you, what are the key attributes that you believe enable satisfied customers in an organization? And the second part of that is, so share a few about the Scrum Alliance. We're talking about, what are the keys that make customers really satisfied? I'm one of your customers, by the way.
Well, maybe you should answer that question.
Yeah.
It's in our particular organization, we are a trade organization. So we're a 501c6 nonprofit trade organization, which means that we're here to serve our members. We're here to serve the people within our community. And we're reorganizing now how that we're getting work delivered to be very, very customer focused or very member focused or very community focused, if you will. Yeah. But giving them a voice in what that they need, getting real customer feedback on products and services and ideas, letting them, so like for us, for instance, like our events, our gatherings, the themes and tracks are decided by our community. They're not decided by staff. We take we ask for volunteers, and then they put together a team for North America or for Europe or somewhere else. And that team gets together, and we help fund the time for them to be together to where they could be together face to face. And they build out an agenda as members of the community, feeling like, or as customers of ours, feeling like, for the event that's coming up, how's the best way to meet the people that are going to show up? Yeah. And so we not only just take the customer's feedback, we actually let the customers drive the products that we do. We let them steer, and then our jobs just become guides, if you will, to help them deliver the products that they really feel are necessary. Our Path to Coaching program is another one that's it's out on our lab site right now, but a group of the coaches came together, and were our CECs and our CTCs, and came together and said, there's just this tremendous gap between people that are really good scrum masters and people that are really good coaches. And the world needs more coaches, and how can we help? And so we started helping them come together in a program improvement team. And quickly they launched 80 e-learning videos and launched them out there in our learning management system, made it free to the world to help give potential scrum masters all of the tools that they needed, education-wise, just knowledge-wise, to help become a coach. And it was just, so so really successfully engaged customers are ones like that. Yeah. They not only are just getting listened to, but they can actually be involved in the product development and see the outcomes of their work.
That's beautiful. That's great that the community it's that vibrant and strong and engaged, right? Yeah. I mean, when you have engaged customers, it's amazing. So talk to me about strategies and actions that a company would need to achieve business agility. That's the big conversation today, or it's a conversation that's happening with lots of people. I'm certainly interested in the dialogue. So,
to me, kind of on principle, business agility is finally people acknowledging that this thing that we love called agile, and this way to work, isn't just relegated to software development.
Yeah.
And that once it's gotten to the point that it's starting to bump into financial models and how budgeting happens or how hiring practices are, then they start having to figure out how to change the way that budgets are done, and how do we do compensation models when we're not going to incentivize individual performance, but we're going to incentivize team-based performance, or we're not going to incentivize at all. But it's this concept that has to do with every piece of an organization. Now, that doesn't mean to me that everyone in an organization has to run in a Scrum framework, right?
Wow.
It's a mindset of having to understand how to make smaller bets, how to equip people, and how to get the hell out of the way as a business. Most of the time, businesses see their role as overarching, and see their roles as compliance, and see their roles as building containers. Real companies that understand their role, their role in creating a really, really wonderful products, realize their job is to just get out of the way and help enable the people do the thing. So even here internally for us as a staff, we have what we're calling a team member experience team for our staff here. So myself and my Melissa Boggs, who's our chief scrum master, like that, HR, finance, legal, we consider ourselves this team member experience. So we set below the teams, these cross-departmental teams that are focused on customers and the customer's needs. So we see ourselves as stewards or as servant leaders to try to help those teams. Yeah. So our job isn't about pushing things to them. It's to help remove impediments for them and help them have all the staff that they need, have as much runway as they need to try to fuel the fires that they have to build really cool stuff. And I think there's where the really kind of heart of what business agility is trying to get to. And I think it's hard for really, really large companies to think about taking an organizational pyramid and flipping it upside down.
Yeah.
Which we kind of did that here. We just decided the organizational pyramid may need to be flat, and we're going to flip it upside down to be truly agile. But at least in the small increments of moves, for me, it's thinking about marketing and HR and finance and those kind of roles, and then the role leadership plays in that. When the product launches and it's terrible, does the leader start blaming somebody and want to start firing people? Or do they celebrate and say, oh my God, we were only 4 weeks into launching and we launched a version that failed really quickly. Look at all we learned.
Yes.
That's kind of a marker for a really great leader in an agile company, that they actually can celebrate those failures quick.
Certainly. So what are you seeing as a trend of business moving toward business agility? Is there a trend? Is it only a few companies who are unicorns?
I don't know. Part of me is still a skeptic over some things, Dave. So there are true companies that do understand this and are really embracing what does it mean, soup to nuts, what it truly means to be an agile company. There are others that are trying to put badges on different roles, just thinking that will kind of placate this and move it along. But there is definitely a move. I mean, we're big sponsors in some of the other industry events in the finance world and HR world and other things. And agility is one of the hot button topics in those kind of spaces. And what role do they play? Because, annual budgets that are set 2 years in advance really don't equip an agile environment.
Right.
So they're trying to understand what their role is. So I see it definitely as climbing, but even the early days of agility, there was an awful lot that were quick to just get a badge just to say that they were there.
Yeah.
So it's happening a little bit, and I'm an eternal optimist. I'm hopeful for the world, for sure.
Right. I understand that. So let's talk about you being a coach to a high school senior or college student. And what would you tell them about Agile and Scrum as a career option? I mean, I work with a lot of high school students and college students. So, what would be your advice as a coach to them? And what is the value of pursuing this path of agility and Scrum?
So there's two pieces to that. If we just think about the business of Agile, right? The business of an Agile coach, the business of a Scrum Master, the business of a product owner, right? The demand is through the roof. I looked just recently, and there was well over 12,000 openings for Agile coach just in the continental United States. And many of those openings were for 4 or 5 or 6 Agile coaches. Scrum Master openings are phenomenally more than that. So there's a tremendous amount of demand in this industry. So I think it's a great career path for anybody looking for that. Now, that being said, this Agile mindset is applicable in any career that they choose. So we live in a volatile, changing world. The pace of change that we're seeing today is the slowest pace of change that we will ever see in the future. So things are changing so rapidly that understanding how to make small risks, small bites, and release quickly, get customer feedback, test things, no matter what product that they're going to do or whatever kind of service industry that they're going to be in or whatever, that ability to learn a mindset of inspecting and adapting will apply in anything. So if you're in that college age or high school age and you think that you're going to become an accountant and you're going to do the exact same thing for 40 years, you need to wake up, because the world isn't doing that anymore, right? Yeah. You need to understand about the way that the world is moving. This isn't your grandfather's world anymore. So some of the skills and stuff that we're teaching and helping the world to understand, I think are applicable in almost anything that you would take on. I was thinking about an electrician, just think about a mindset of knowing I need to wire this whole building up. Do they wire up the entire building before they check to see, is it right? Or do they wire one piece and check, wire another piece and check? Because let's test and validate as we go along, right? Those are the things we would tell them building software or in marketing or in anything else. So I think those skills can work just about anywhere, Dave.
That's perfect. So talk to me about your ideal form of work. What would that be?
I am not probably your normal person to answer that. So I love co-working spaces. I like chaos. I love I love unstructured whiteboard sessions, collaborative dreaming. I really don't enjoy having long 3 to 4 hour meetings. I like to be, I'm the guy that really doesn't plan much at all. I kind of just want to show up and let's see what happens when we get the right people in the right room. So the more unstructured it can be, the more open, the more inviting, the more collaborative it can be, the more that somebody can spout some idea and everybody else says, yes, and we can do this. That's my, so I just like here, every single staff here is just a member of our team. I see them as just, that many of them are far smarter than I'll ever be. I mean, for God's sakes. I love getting a chance to be in a room with people that are far smarter than me and just dream.
Yeah.
And that's really planning a meeting 3 months in advance to come together with a certain set of agenda items. Oh God, no, probably not.
I understand that. I can completely relate to that. So talk to me about, do you have additional perspectives that you think people would like to learn about Agile or Scrum as a value contributor?
Do I have additional perspectives? Well,
yeah. You gave me a lot of, is there more? You dream more.
Is this a 7-hour podcast? Because
no. This is my final question. You got to go off with a crescendo.
Oh, great. Well, maybe I should have read all these ahead of time. So, I don't know if I have any final thoughts. The problem of it is I always have something else in my head for sure on it. My wife works for Habitat for Humanity.
Oh, wow. Nice.
She's a finance manager at Habitat for Humanity. And spending just a little bit of time with them and just listening to their director talk about some of the problems that they are having.
Yeah.
And within a little bit, I'm grabbing a bunch of Post-it notes and I build kind of a big visible radiator on the wall and say, well, if you do this, would this help you visualize your throughput and what the risks are and where your constraints and what's blocked and what's not? And they go, oh my God. So they're going to start running in regular kind of sprint rhythms over how many houses can they get built and what stage are the houses and what stage is the lot ready and is financing, some way to do it that they weren't doing before. So I think then I set it Mile High Agile and listen to somebody that is passionate about Scrum and passionate about gamification, that is has a family member that has Alzheimer's, that is realizing, and they volunteer to work because the biggest problem that they're having is that they can't get Alzheimer's patients to go through the drug tests. They have hundreds and hundreds of drugs that are waiting, and the cure could be in there, but they can't seem to get enough data to validate or invalidate a study to move forward. So this person is helping them use Agile techniques, Scrum, and actually using some gamification so that people will go through those trials because he believes that there's a cure in that list. And so I think that's where I get really excited about different ways of implementing Scrum. That the way that when it was originally written about by Jeff a long time ago, we're learning that some of these principles and practices fit a myriad of things. And we're funding not far from you there in Phoenix. We help provide a lot of funds for Hope High School and how that they teach in Agile in education. How they just the amazing thing that they don't wait till the end to have a big bang graduation. The second that a kid passes enough and gets enough credit, they stop everything and bring the whole school together to celebrate that one kid graduated right now. Single piece flow, right? Nice. It's here.
Yeah.
They don't have to wait another 8 months or 10 months to graduate. They are graduated on that day. And I think that's where, if you believe that Agile and Scrum only fit in software development, or you believe it only fits in these certain little narrow boxes, you're wrong.
Yeah.
It's a big world out there, and we're learning I'm learning every time I turn around of some new implementation and some new way that we're helping to make the world joyful, sustainable, and profitable.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really kind of the goal of working in this kind of way, that workers are happier, business owners get higher value returns, customers get the product that they need, not the product that somebody thought that they needed. It's a win for everybody all the way around. It's not easy, but it is very, very, very effective.
I would agree, my friend. Howard Sublett, Chief Product Owner, Scrum Alliance. I really appreciate you. Thank you for giving me your time today and sharing your knowledge with the KnolShare with Dr. Dave podcast. And my next book that's coming up is called Deliver Value. That's the name of the book. Everything else after that is subtopic.
Okay. Deliver value. I like that. Well, you'll have to make sure and send me a note when that comes out so I can get on Amazon and get it ordered.
Yes,
so,
without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Thank you so much for your time. I have a few questions that I'm going to ask you offline. I think I may have see. Yes, I do have time.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Howard.
Psychedelic feelings, I can't please myself. Changes in my visions running wild in my head. Feeding on my madness, releasing myself. Can I get a witness to convince someone else? A psychedelic feeling can please myself. But changes in my visions running wild in